That's who I am. Thank you and hello, hello, hello. Today we're gonna do ascension messages, ascension messages. Just let me change the page here because all that writing is distracting me. I have my book set up a certain way and it's got all the writing on it and it just distracts me. I'm gonna try and channel. So today we're just gonna do a really casual, easy day. Because we're in a full moon, we're just gonna do open messages with all of our celestials. So we're so happy. We're gonna be talking more and more about celestials. I don't wanna get close to the door there in case somebody comes banging on the door. Let me in. No. Yes, let me in. No. I know how to say no quite a bit. Yeah, no. I'm really good at saying no. So, and then we're going to do a show. We're going to do a show later on. I call it a show. What was that guy's back in the olden days? That guy, what was his name? He was really, really popular evening show. He had this really funny voice. All right, then, let's get on with the show. What was his name? I can't remember his name. As my parents used to watch it. And I always thought, how is that funny? I used to listen to those shows like, what? How is that funny? But they thought it was funny. And they had all these dancers and things on. And they got into the solid gold dancers. I used to watch them all the time. That was kind of like that was just before MTV. The MTV things they used to have on. I was never really a big MTV watcher. I was usually out with my friends. Hello, sweetheart. Hello, 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 my beautiful goddess. Did you feel all my prayers last night? And did you feel all my prayers and my bawling my face off? You gave me a good excuse to bawl my face off. It's been very emotional. It's been very emotional. I love you and I appreciate you so very much. It was something that, caught me off guard and by surprise, but it was a really super stupendous surprise. I was, Spirit was just like, let it out. You got to let it out. There's lots coming in the next couple of days. Let it out. So they're preparing me. I was on a walk and I was just walking over here to the meeting room and I said, why do I feel like there's going to be something come through that is just going to like throw me for a loop and I'm going to be out for 2 days on the floor in a fetal position, And so it's like, okay, bring it on. Rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Let's do this. Let's go through this fucking dark night of the soul. Like, what else do I got to go through, right? But they were saying it's not going to be easy. You know that when they say something like that right at the beginning of their it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. Get in there, Joanna. Get in there, Celeste. It's like, so I said to me and my transgressions, these are the discussions that my teams and I said, yeah, well, you be in the body. You come down here and be in the body. You're in the light ship and you're doing whatever you want and you got the remote control. And I'm like, and they're just saying, you can do this. Everybody knows you can do this. You're going to be the first person on the planet to do this. You're going to be, and nobody's done this before. You're going to do this. And they're like, yeah, and they're showing me all these cheers and stuff like this. And they're showing me all the children standing up and cheering. And then they say, but it's not going to be easy. Silence. And I go, okay, what does that mean? Is it going to be like the hell I came from like the last 7 years? No, but you're going to know how to navigate it now. I was like, what? What? I said, no, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. No, nope. Find another light worker. I'm out. I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it. You will not make me go back. I've got my heels digged in, right? And they're like, and I'm like, no fucking way. So we were in this big transgression all night last night. And I'm like, nope. I said, I have free will. You can't do that. I know the laws. My team's like, no, I know free will. I know free will. I teach it, right? And they're like 7th and 8th and 12th, 13th dimension. They're like, what dimension are we, Celeste? I'm going, oh yeah, right. Okay, but I know free will on my side, and this is my free will. This is my body. And they're just going, you can do this. You can do this. It's gonna be a challenge. You can do this. And I'm like, what the fuck? I said, when do I get a break? Am I ever gonna get a break? And they're like, no. There's nobody like you. You have to do this. I just kept going in my transgressions. They're like rolling their eyes. Okay. Waiting for my transgressions to be over. I'm going through the whole wheel. I'm going through the wheel of fortune, right? And all my transgressions. But I did this and I did this and I did this. And I'm talking to the karma board and I'm talking to all my guides. They're saying, no, you can do this. Don't worry about it. Trainers, they said, your head guides got you. You can do this. You got you. We got your back. I go, yeah, you've got my back. You're in light ships and you got the remote control and I'm in the body. I'm the one on the front. I'm on the front lines, man. You're not on the front lines. I'm in the front lines. Have all these discussions like, oh. I said, I want to talk to my higher self right now. And they go, you are talking to your higher self. And I go, okay, higher self. What the fuck? Why would you choose this? Like, what the fuck? It's not like my life hasn't been easy so far. It's like everything has been a challenge. Like, what the fuck? And my higher self is just like, yeah, you got this. Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. You're going to be here a long time. I'm going, oh, fuck. I thought I said I was going to head off to the Pleiades, right? I'm out. Bye. I'm out. I ain't staying here. And they're like, no, we've got stuff to do. The Father wants you to get busy and doing stuff. There's lots of people that want to talk to you. And I'm going, well, I just, because otherwise I had no more transgressions left. It's okay, well, now that I've told you all my transgressions and you're still saying no. You know, I said, well, what about free will? And they said, well, free will this. You're going in. So I'm like, okay. As I swallow really hard. So yeah, you know, I'm clearing the way for everybody. So, you know, anybody wants to send in a donation, I would really appreciate it. I've got a couple bills cleared off by a few beautiful people that sent me some donations that I bawled my face off over. So I appreciate it because I was able to go and pay my phone bill, and my phone bill still needs to be paid because it's so big. Because they're so fucking expensive. I don't do long distance. I like have 3 people that call me, my kids. You know, I don't have a posse. I don't have a crew. It's just me and my kids. That's all. It's just me. Like, how is my phone bill so fucking big? Anyways, near I transgressed. Today is a full moon. It feels really good for me though. It's like I feel really light. Because it's been so emotional the last couple of days. So my beautiful goddesses that has just moved me so much. I have goosebumps everywhere. And I've called in the special healing teams and special blessings teams to bless both of you tenfold. And so they're going to bless you as much as they saw me, you know, feel so much gratitude and so much, you know, so much peace and so much, you know, just release. It was huge release because most of my transgressions are just the fact that I haven't received in 54 years, you know. I've been here 50, although that's not my right birth date, so I'm just saying 50 whatever, you know, because I don't know when my birth date is, and I'm going in that youthful experience, so I'm just creating youthfulness, so I'm going down in my, when I say age, because it doesn't mean anything to me. And so, you know, what was I talking about? I was talking about youthfulness, and then my bills, and then transgressions. Next. So it's been lovely. Oh, so that what I wanted to do today was kind of we're gonna just do open messages. We're gonna do open messages. Open messages. Open messages. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you. So yeah, that's what they were saying. You know, they were saying that there's going to be people that will bless me the more and more that people find out my true story and find out what's happened. Although it shouldn't necessarily get to that, you know, you shouldn't have to wait to hear somebody's really tragic story before you know, wake up and feel the oneness of who they are with you. But I suppose that is the way. You know, I'm here as a vibrational being that has unconditional love and that creates unconditional love and gives unconditional love. So, you know, I know that I'm an example and I'm a role model, and I appreciate that, and I'm honoring of that. And there are things that you do, your teams are going to move you through that you're not going to be in agreement with, you know, right? And you have as honoring and as respectful as you can, because some of them are, you know, it depends how dark you go. I've seen some pretty dark stuff, and so. And then to know that your own government, the shadow government has been a part of these games, the Hunger Games, right? The human hunting Hunger Games, which is very real. People have been, you know, going into forests and playing these games as if they're really hunting humans, right? There are these things that go on, and these people that sign up for these things don't know, and the people that have talked to me about it, the fake clients that have come to me, and they've eluded what they belong to, and these cults that they've belonged to, and they make it sound like, oh, we're going to go and do a nature ritual in nature. Yeah, no, you're not. You're doing nefarious things. Your intentions are nefarious. And why I've never joined cults. I don't need anybody to sponsor me. Like, why would I want to be a part of your cult? I belong to the all. That's my jurisdiction. That's my compass. These smaller cults are smaller group think, and they're negative group think, and they're lower vibrational group think, and that's what they do. They focus on the wounds that they have, and they spiral around in it, and it's like negative group think, jealousy, envy, hate, jealousy, envy, hate. Who can they get now? Who can they steal from now? And it's just, cycles of these things. And those that are in the groups that we've been talking about, they've refused to get themselves healed. The ones that the children that I've seen in visions. Now this is again because there has been things that Mother Father won't show me, just because it was too much of a psychotic break for me. They didn't want to detriment me any further. The ones that they've shown me for the children have been in homes that they are like they did me. They are testing on chakra specific attacks and technical warfare, those types of things, and brainwashing and mind scraping and mental manipulations. That's what they're focusing on with the children. And then, of course, the physical aspect of it is the trafficking. And of course, they tell these children a whole bunch of lies. A lot of these children live in lies. Like that one vision I had of the 5 boys that were in this basement. It was this elevator that went sideways, kind of diagonal, and they were in the bottom of this huge mansion, right? And it was in a tunnel. And these boys they looked like Calvin Klein models. That's what they looked like. They looked like 13, 14, 15, kind of 12 years old, 11. And there was 5 boys, and they were all kind of bunking together. There was like 2 bunks on a wall, and then, it was a big room, and it was kind of like a white brick. It was white brick, and everything was white. And there was bunk beds and 2 bunk beds and then 2 bunk beds, and then they would have a closet for their clothes. And they were well dressed and very clean. But they were told that they were somewhere in like Europe or something. They were told all these lies, and the reason why they couldn't go outside. And I telepathically connected with one of the boys, and I said, no, you're not. This is where you are. I can't remember, but it's on my YouTube page if you go back and look at that. I usually say source channel. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. But I think it was about 3 months ago. And these boys they model and they lure, they prepare these boys, and they groom them. It was grooming. The energy was absolute grooming. They were grooming these boys, and of course there was obviously I had sensed absolute that there was predatory and sexual experiences and explorations there, because it was only the boys. They were very well manicured. They were like models. And they were in this, the elevator. You had to get in this special elevator that was, I think, at the side of the house or at the back of the house. And then it didn't go down, it went diagonal. And then there was a room that the elevator came to, and it was this room where the boys were, and they had seen me. I'd come down in my spirit, I didn't etherically, and I traveled down, and I was speaking with one of the boys, and one of the boys had gotten in touch with me, and I said, no, you need to see if you can get out. I was telling them there's an elevator there, but it goes up diagonal. And then I was helping them get out of the house. And then I put it on my web page so that, those of the Interpol that do investigations, they can see if they can find the house that I'm instructing. You just kind of leave it up, but I know that God is working on behalf of that too, so that God can put some of the investigators on my page that need to see and hear things that they're kind of working on, and they don't know how, things are manifesting, or they might have got a similar house description, but they didn't know that the elevator went diagonal. It was very important that the elevator went diagonal, so that's the point that stood out at me, that I had to tell them that there is not an elevator that goes straight down. It goes diagonal, like a mining, like the mining, the tracks of a mining thing, they usually go sideways, and you'd sit sideways on a little cart, and then you'd go down the shaft like that. I was in one of those, and they go sideways, diagonal. And so that was one of those experiences. And so you're going to be getting things like that. So that's part of the clairs, right? So part of the clairs is when you're sitting in meditation. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to open to channels. We're just going to do an open channel. I want to play today. So we're going to do a meditation for the full moon. Anything that you want to release, because we're still in that 3-day period from the other day where we said Spirit's going to help us release any and all these things that we've got built up inside that we want to purge and call forward from any of our chakras from way down in our systems. If we want to call any of those energies up, and then we're going to just do open messages. So you can practice too. I want you to practice. But part of those clairs that we wanted to talk about and just say that our celestial gifts, and it's all about cosmic and celestial energies. We want to activate it. Our intention is to activate all that we are, celestial, galactic. It is the full moon. And so we're moving into this new arena of energy and the omnipresence. We're getting more and more closer to our teams, preparing us in the people that we are going to be meeting are going to also have a higher activation of alien celestial DNA. So we're going to feel that resonance and feel that familiarity in the field. And sometimes that's why we attract to our soulmates and our twin flames, if you will, because they do have a certain amount of DNA or field energy that is celestial and alien. And they're helping us prepare because they have different codes that we're used to, and they really connect with us back in more of the galactic times. Like this one fellow that I'm going to be meeting, he's one of my soulmates. And he and I have a lot of timelines in the galaxy, more than we do on Earth. So that's going to be really interesting. And so when I've seen him here on Earth, there was no connection. I didn't have any of the connection that I felt with my other Pleiadian soulmate, the one that I told you about, that he wasn't going to take a body. He chose to stay back because he said he wasn't. He says there's no way I'm emotionally up to your level. He had to do a lot of work on his emotional body. Intellectually, he was there with me, building a foundation for a family and stuff, but he said I would have got bored with him really quickly, that, I needed somebody that was emotionally deep and had that intensity that I have to match that intensity. And he's kind of more of a laid back personality, and he's highly intellectual. But I needed somebody that was going to have that emotional intensity, because that's the creator gods, right? And we're creating new earth. So it's very important. And that's why God knows. That's why I said, we don't know who our soulmates and our twin flames and all of those really key partners are going to be, but just leave it to God, leave it to Source, because Source knows what's needed in the collective. Source knows that energy match that's going to be, if you're both creator gods, you both need that level of intensity to spark that quantum energy, right? And so we're building new systems, we're building new quantum fields, and it needs to be a vibrational match. When you're a creator God, when you're going to be a leader, you have to have that vibrational creative intensity. You have to be able to meet each other that are going to push each other to new heights, and you're going to push each other to expand and breathe with Source Creator in new ways. And that's why sometimes when I did feel, I remember I've seen a couple of visions with this being on Earth, but there's more visions I have of him in celestial galactic times. And so he's come forward to play that soulmate for me and me him, because there's many things that I'm doing. I'm helping him with a lot of stuff with his lineage and his ancestry. We're doing a lot of work in the galactic light systems, and it also has to do with hybridization too. And so I'm a big player for helping his species expand in many ways. So I'm really happy to play a part of that. And so bringing light and light consciousness, which, as I said in my last video, sometimes you are your lineages and your ancestors' answer. That they didn't think they were going to have ever an opportunity to advance into eternal life, and you're that answer. So don't give up. I know that things are really hard, but as Source and my teams have shown me, you can have some of your most difficult days and your most difficult dark nights of the soul, and 2 days later, that energy has been transmuted. So just keep going, keep getting up, keep going, keep getting up, keep creating. And there's so many people out there too that are finding that those that have not prepared themselves and going within themselves and clearing out and doing the daily ascension pathwork is so key. Because if you're not doing the daily ascension pathwork and calling your energy back within and working with your energy back within and calling yourself in as Source with Source, then you're going to be looking for all your answers outer. And that's that very scattered energy, because You're looking for those things outside of you to answer what's going on within you. So we really have to reclaim all that we are as light and start recreating the minutia of as within, so without, and as above and so below, and just keep working with those alchemic experiences. And then those beings that are doing these sorts of things, they're all drawn on competition because they want to pull you back in their circle of karma, right? They want to pull you in all of the wounds of jealousy and envy and competition and fear, because it's all lack. It's all lack, right? Whereas if you knew, and if you were going in with it every day, you know that you would build your affirmations. I am infinitely abundant with the universe. I am infinitely expansive with the universe. It doesn't matter if I have a dark night of the soul, I can transcend this. And then I show you how to heal beyond it. But there are certain time periods, as we said, because people will say, well, why didn't you manifest all the money and so on and so forth? Well, I did. I manifested a lot of money, but because these people were in up to 100 people, and they all had the resources, and they all had the technology, and they all had the people, in groups and bundles of hacking and stacking and spying. What did one divine feminine, even though I was vibrationally aligned for everything that I should have been aligned with for a very long time? But these people were absolutely bullying and grouping, and the government was involved in it. They did not want to have to be accountable for all of the things that they had done in the fabrication of my information of birth, the fabrication of where I went and why I went, with who I went and why. And then the government informing and directing those in the community that they had found that were of the witch and warlock and mason and all of those experiences, just to keep the pressure, right? To keep the pressure of, because she's gifted psychically, she can't wake up at the age of 9, knowing that she's a psychic being and then just walk through walls and pop through this and pop through that. It would be too dangerous because she's a threat. Whereas opposed to somebody that would be really mature and somebody that would be honoring, like Commander Ashtar, well, let's just go and have a talk with them. Hey, how you doing? What do you got going on here? Who are you? I like your gifts. They're really cool. What do you do with your gifts? Instead of getting to know that being and getting to know that person, no, they send like military like savages on you, and it's the Hunger Games, and they poke and they prod and they study with zero permissions, with zero authority. Even if my parents were coaxed, which they did say, they said that my parents were aware, so-called parents, there's still, there's information missing on that. And they still owe me all of the information that I've been asking for. So God is again taking over that. But even if my parents did sign, God had said they were coerced in kind of a roundabout, wishy-washy type of conversation, because my parents were not as intellectually aware, and so the government had a lot of ways that they could say things and manipulate conversation, so that the parents would think, oh, we're just doing some testing, and would you be a part of this test, and we can pay you this much a month. We're just testing these people, and it looks like you've got some really smart kids there. Do you mind if we just have the authority just to tap in every once in a while and test them? And of course they would say, it would sound positive and all great, but it was illegal. But they didn't talk about these things back in the 70s, right? And even if that was the case, and even if they did sign something once I turned 18, then those contracts would be null and void. But of course, these contracts continued, and it didn't matter where I moved for any jobs. If I did have to, really work hard for any type of, job promotion. I would work really, really hard. Sometimes have 2 and 3 jobs, and I would work 6-7 days a week. And then when I wasn't working, I'd be at the gym, or I'd be in school, part-time classes and part-time business classes, and I'd do volunteer work. I've always been a very busy person in the community. And always pressing myself to be more and to know more. And I've always worked really hard for everything I've had. I haven't earned anything by people saying, here you go. My parents were not wealthy at all. My parents were very poor. We didn't wear the jeans that everybody wore at school. We didn't wear the angel jeans, with the little angel wings on the back of the pockets that were so popular back in our high school days. I didn't wear those. We had to go to a store called Fields, which was worse than Walmart. It was lesser, quality than Walmart. And we got our one outfit, and that was it. And we had to make the best that we could with that one outfit. And I got teased all the time for the things that I wore and how I looked. And it was a life of struggle. And my parents constantly argued about money. They constantly argued about how they were going to make ends meet and how they were going to, get by and do what they were going to, do with 3 kids and growing up. And we didn't go on all the fancy trips. We went on trips once in a while, but our holidays were mostly camping with family, and it was the cheaper things that we could do. And we never had the fancy toys. Our entertainment was, for me, it was art. And I would make shows in the basement. I would do dance shows in the basement and things like that. And I would invite the neighborhood kids, and then I would play with my Barbies and puppets, and I would invite kids, or whoever would watch or listen. That's what we did. And I was always outside. Every time we'd come home from school, my mom said, "Get outside." She never wanted us inside. She never wanted to be around us. And she was, that's the type of personality she was. There's some people that are meant for kids and some that aren't, and she wasn't. And that's just the way it is. So you get on with it, and you learn to just love yourself in different ways. And then when you get old enough to drink, that the alcohol seems to be a good fit. I wasn't going within when I was a teenager, although I was very psychic and I was seeing things and feeling things. But I had my addictions when I was a teenager. I had eating disorders, and I was high functioning, so I was constantly, hyper. I was hyper sensitive, hyper intellectual. I had to read a lot because I was just constantly in thoughts, inventing and thoughts. This is why I was always intentional about promotions. I'd stay in a job for about maybe 2 or 3 months, and okay, what's the next job? Total type A personality. There are very few times that I would just sit and allow life, and then I would have my workouts. I would go to the gym after work, and I would get up in the morning, go to the gym in the morning, go to work. That's the life that I lived. And it was intense. I'm an intense person, and there's not a lot of people that can keep up with me, and there's not a lot of people that wanted to, because they just wanted to party. And I partied too. I had my addictions for sure, because that's when, in my 20s, my celestial teams came a few times, but I didn't realize they were celestials. Like that time I passed out in the pharmacy. Those are my celestials, and they were wanting to wake me up. And then I went traveling to, I was on a scholarship for sports. And so I traveled to New Zealand. I went there for a little while, and then I had celestials visit me there because I was just partying too much. And they wanted to wake me up and saying, "Okay, you got to get busy now. When are you going to start doing your work?" type of thing. And then you get in some close calls, and of course they saved me again. They saved me a few times. But I just wanted I was living not necessarily a fast life. I was living an intense, full-packed life, and I wasn't slowing down. And so, as I said in many, I know by experience, and then by the time I had my second child, that's when I awoke. I awoke during my second child, and there was just all of these tormenting dreams that just kept coming forward to me. And I didn't understand why I was having all these dreams. I was living a good life. I'd always been a good person. I thought I was always trying to help people. I'd always listen to people, and I would always help my parents at home, and I would do way more housework than my sisters did. And I would always do as much as I can to make everything, the load easier, and counsel my parents whenever they needed me. And if they would get in fights, then I would go and I would listen to one of them and let them blow off steam because they were mad at the other. It was a triangulation, total triangulation. So I was very familiar with those triangulation issues at a very early age, and dysfunction of narcissism at various levels of narcissism. And then my parents had addictions as well. So I saw everything. I saw the addictions from a very early age, and it was very abusive. And then we all go through those things, right? And then to not have a mother or a parent that, can absolutely love you and honor you and give you that affection that you need. Because I do love affection. I do love touching, and I love I'm a touch healer. So I love the touching and feeling of, I love the textures of life. I love feeling textures. I love massaging, because I'm a healer. And people have told me that I am an amazing masseuse. Although I've wanted to take, the massage therapy. That was always one of my things too I could get into. But I just do it intuitively. I just feel, because I can see different things going on in the body and stuff, and I just get the massage oil. So my family took advantage of that. They always knew that I was, I don't know if they called it healing back then, but I was able to make my family feel better when I would massage and kind of be a slave, then do housework and clean up after dinner. That's the type of person I was. And then if we were at my granny's, I would get mad at my sisters or the other people if they weren't helping cleaning up, I was just very responsible, like, why aren't people cleaning up? Why aren't people saying thank you? Those things, because I'm basically the higher order, like, why aren't people doing their part? Why is it so imbalanced? And I would see through, those things. And then you just build your skills, but nobody had taught me how to work with my skills. I didn't have a path out. Nobody was showing me this path to manage my emotions and honor my feelings, and to understand why I felt what I felt, and how there was a bombardment of energy, especially with the, shadow governments that were, also doing their particular agendas and their games and their schemes, and having others, do spell work on me for my entire life, and hexes on me my entire life, and, that these people had any right. So there are some things that are going to be coming out with the shadow governments, and their spirit said to me the other day, they gave me a download, and they did say that there was rock hard evidence. Rock hard evidence is what Father said. So there's rock hard evidence that the charges and the arrests will be made for all of the discrimination and the inhumane attacks on my life. And so, and the absolute intention the intent was to kill, so premeditated murder, and accomplice to premeditated murder, all of the people that were in the covens that took money, that knew what was going on. They knew that there was sabotaging to my life on physical, mental, emotional, technical, invasion of the Privacy Act, invasion of medical information and my birth information. Nobody should have any of these aspects of your information, or they should not have pathways and avenues into your life on that. So again, I say to everybody, please make sure that you are aware of your human rights laws and the constitutional rights for your province or your city, and make sure that you understand, where you can go for information on the human rights. You do have your human rights to be exactly as you are. This is what it looks like if you pull it up from your government website. There's judicials, and there's tribunals that happen on each because we're province, we're Canadian aligned, so it's provincial, and they have Western, and then Central Canada, and then Eastern Canada, and then there's tribunals within each province. And so there's lots of information that they give you on the human rights. This is how it's designed in our country, but it's no different in the constitutional rights. So look up what your human rights are, so that you can move about your life to say, no, it's my human rights. You're not to be ever bought or sold, and there's no law that says a cult or a coven has the right to sell you in an underground black web, or to sell snuff videos and make money off of you. These are absolute exploitations. It is exactly the same as trafficking. They are trafficking your image. They are trafficking your energy. They are trafficking who you are as a person without any permissions or authority. These are all illegal acts. That's why obviously it's done in the black web. And then there are those in the communities and in the cults that are taking money on behalf of the shadow governments to shut certain people up, to silence certain people. And Father, as well as the other day when he did give me that rock hard evidence download, he also said that YouTube is now aware, and there are investigations going on from within YouTube. They wanted it to remain fairly silent because there was many people that were involved, and they wanted of course, they didn't want the payout. The $450 billion company, I'm sure that they can sit down and pay what they need to pay. The amount of discrimination and suppressions that were going on within various accounts, on mine, of course, because I wouldn't let up, and it's going to keep talking about it, and I'm not going to stop talking about it. It was blatant, and everybody was seeing it. So there is rock hard evidence on all of the avenues that I was sabotaged from, financial, emotional, mental, the isolation from the family and breakdown of the family. And anytime that anything would come into my sphere of energy, it would be plucked out or damaged or told false lies. If anybody was attracted to me, a nice person that had a kind heart, if anything was coming to me that was anything good, somehow one of these cults or coven members and the shadow government would get to that person, and they would pluck them out, or they would tell them lies about me, and they would be diverted, and it would be rerouted somewhere else. Anything that was good to me that I had earned just by being a good person. And this is why you have to look. If you're moving through life just basically as a good person, and do unto others, and if there's no way that you're not receiving good things every now and then you know that people are doing spell work, and they're doing suppression work on you. And there's cults and covens that are involved in making sure that you don't get what you're supposed to be due. So always be aware of that. The karmic cycle that you're meant to go through and transmute so that you can know that you're here for the greater good, you know that you're a part of oneness. These cycles are usually about 7 years long. So even in a 7-year karmic cycle, you're there to learn very intense karmic lessons. What is my lesson on codependency? What is my lesson on not loving myself? What is my lesson on jealousy or envy? This is what an ascension cycle looks like. Yes, your ascension cycle is also broken down into weekly and monthly, but usually a karmic cycle is about 7 years long. So there's no way you should be going 50 years in complete disgustingness where people are throwing everything at you that they can, and you're supposed to climb out of the ditch every week to see yourself, breathe normally because other people have been doing the fuck shit on you, and they're taking money out of inheritances and things that are meant for you that are in your name, but you're never supposed to receive it because they're making so much more money and they're having so much more fun, harvesting your energy. So what Spirit has said to me and why we're going to be seeing things, but I wanted to bring it up that hasn't been talked about before, but we want to make sure that we're respecting, because it hasn't been respectful on any level. I've been treated like a fucking lab rat. That's how I felt. I felt like a guinea pig that was relentlessly put from one cage of testing and studying to another, and it was disgusting. And then to feel the people doing, sex orgies and trying to manifest off my sacral energy and my root. I actually feel it. I feel the energy draining from my sacral. It's disgusting. And for somebody that's celibate, that's taken pride in my body, and I've taken pride in how I share my life force, these people don't have any, it's illegal. It's absolutely illegal on the spiritual laws. It crosses every spiritual boundary. If you're not following the universal laws, right use of free will and non-interference, if you're not following these universal laws, you are going into the negative on the spiritual orders, the heavens and the realms above us. It always happens in the spiritual realms first, and everything that you do spiritually that crosses those laws, you have people and councils that are watching you in the ethers. And then when it gets so much so, they have people like myself that channel, these are the things that are happening in the collective. These are the things you can do to alter course. These are the things you can do to alter course. These are the things you can do to alter course. This is how you make it right. This is how you heal. And I'm spoon feeding everybody for years and years and years at a time and sending thousands of emails about the same very thing. If you keep doing that, this is what's going to happen. If you keep doing that, this is what's going to happen. Stop doing that. That's hurting me. Stop doing that. That's hurting me. And you think that would be enough. But I have proof of hundreds to thousands of emails I've sent stating the consequences if they continue doing black magic and they continue attacking and they continue stealing and then denying it. And these cults and these covens, and I want to say for sure everyone, because I want to bring up the celestial energy. So Cluedo, if you can remind me, celestial energy is what I want to remind you about respect. But we're going to go back one more step. The cults and covens that have been specifically in my case, I'm only speaking of my case because I don't know any other cults and covens, and I'm sure Spirit did say that there are some, more fewer than not. It's not a large number. It is fewer cults and covens that do operate in a benevolent manner. They don't go seeking people to do malevolent or nefarious acts to. They don't look to people to take things from. They don't look to people to do insurance scams and romance scams. There are cults and covens that are specifically for, they call themselves and they mask themselves under religious order, under religious sect, or Eastern Stars, whatever they want to mask it under. They're not on any level. All they do is they gather, and they are there in their demonic energies, and they're there to create fear and intimidation and bullying and crime rings. They're absolute crime rings. They're financial crime rings. They're debaucherous crime rings. They're sexual crime rings. What else, Spirit? Oh, they're energetic and voodoo crime rings, because again, they're crossing all spiritual laws. They don't care. They want what they want because they've offered so much of their deities and energies into their bodies. A lot of them now have many attachments, and those attachments are taking over. That's why they're all sick, because they've offered the sickness in them. They intend in sickness. They intend to take people this. They intend to throw hate at people because this. They do glamour spells, and they do magic on people's poverty, and they do people. There's so much magic is being done, and there will be Gaia events. Gaia will have events because these people have just done so much magic, and they haven't done anything to balance it out. So be very aware that when Gaia has these things that occur by land that are so unheard of in those particular areas, make no mistake, it's because there is magic being done, and the same with fires. certain fires that have broke out because there's magic and there's negative energies that need to be cleared and cleansed. And there's, again, people that are practicing, bio warfare and things like that, which is, I'm positive that that's what happened in Maui, when the Maui fires took place. And there's that, all that's going to come out. And again, that was, for me, that was absolutely connected with elitism. That is my own independent energy, and that's my own independent prediction. That's my own independent channeling. That's what I feel about Maui. It was absolutely connected to elitism, and there were energies and weaponry there that was used that was not what they said it was. And so who was doing that? Was that a shadow government as well? Who was involved in that? That has to be further investigated. And the peoples are required by the governments, and it doesn't matter what the leadership says there, the leadership that is in charge of Maui, the peoples deserve, and the peoples have they have their human rights for the housing to be provided. So don't think that you can rip those people off from having their basic human rights. The people in Maui have human rights, and the leadership of Maui, they will absolutely follow through with it. And you will get your karma if you do not stand up to the higher order. There's been a lot of corruption in Maui, which is a shame because Maui has been such a spiritually strong, profound, sacred space. It's one of my favorite spaces upon the planet for just sacred, beautiful energy. We've prepared the Maui lands from very many generations ago, Lemuria. And the corruption there has done many things wrong with it, and I think that's why they had the fires. And so I'm coming out, that's my prediction, those are my energies, and I'll state what I want to state. So anything that we see happening on land, whether it's fires, whether it's volcanoes, eruptions and things like that, you can absolutely bet that those, as Father said in my channel, I think 2 or 3 months ago, that you will see parts of the land for those people that are honoring and respecting land, those that are honoring and respecting energy and showing people how to use energy, their houses will not be disrupted. Those people that are abusing energy, those people that abuse children, those people that continue to abuse when you've been told 100 times, 1,000 times stop, there is higher order. If practitioners are not stopping and they're still taking money to do work on others, if all of these people are refusing, part of their karma is to have their houses and whatever it is, if their intention was to take down somebody's house, if their intention was to whatever it was to do whatever they did, then they will inequally have that brought down in them, and there will be those land events. Spirit did say that. Part of their karma is to show all others. If you respect energy in your land and the land around it, Gaia will have her say about it. Make no mistake. So it's not anybody doing anything to you. We've been telling you for a very long time, stop your negative practice. We're in higher omnipresence. Anybody that's doing voodoo and dark work on a daily, hourly basis, you are just bringing yourself into hell. Why would it be any otherwise? That's what you're practicing. It doesn't matter whether you're chanting it and sending it to somebody else. You don't have a right. You don't have a right to interfere with anybody's life. You don't have a right to lie and defame and create false accusations and throw down an innocent earth angel because you don't want to face your karma. Because you think you can destiny swap and you can take somebody's karma that you're not even prepared. It's just ridiculous. Again, they're not knowledge. They're not educated on any level. Anybody that's in a low vibrational 3D cult and a shadow government, they're not aligned on any level because they're shadow government. They're trying to take people out in any way they can that's covert so that nobody would know about it. And it's mysterious. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The crimes that have been done, over 17 that have been done just on my file. Just on my file. There's no way that any of these dark people could ever sit and do a download like I do. That's one download. One download, one download. One download. There's no way. And then read it, and then if they were to sit on stage, and I could take a look at this download, I could take a look at it, and I could close my eyes, and I would do a channel on that download, and I would go in this way, I'd go that way, I'd go this way, I'd go that way, I'd go this way, I'd go that way, I'd go this way, because I can see how the information is going to meet what's in the omnipresent right now. Those people wouldn't know, because they're not connected with Source. There's no connection with Source. So how are they going to have my destiny? You're not going to have my destiny. All they care about is getting my gifts and skills because they know I'm powerful. It's all about power and greed. Power over others so I can make them bend. I can dominate them and they can bow to me and they can, I don't know, what do you want them to do? Like, what is all the power about? Suck your dick? What is the power about people? What is the power about? So that you can force them to do something? Like what? Sign over all their money to you? Okay, then what? So now that you got all your money and now that you're still sick, now what? Now what? You want everybody calling you, oh head queen, what, then what? Okay, so people bow to you and say, oh queen, now what? So once the pleasure of that is all gone, now what? Again, it's an empty pit. It will never get filled. Before you go without, go within. Because the only thing that will ever heal you and ever feed you and ever nourish you and ever make you feel full is love and doing the inner work. It doesn't matter how many people these people take out. It doesn't matter how many times these people sacrifice. It doesn't matter how many voodoos that these people do. They will be sat down and they will look at the feast of people and deeds and crimes that these people have done to feed their wounds. It's all their wounds. None of the people on the outside were ever their issues. They have envy, they have jealousy, they have greed, they have gluttony, and it's never enough. Because they haven't gone in and healed the wounds. The no sense of self, they live in lack, they have jealousy and envy of everybody outside of them, and everything is a competition. They could have a little white fluffy puppy that walks by on a beautiful little golden collar, and they'll be jealous and they'll feel competition because of the puppy. It doesn't matter what is on the outer of them. They have been entrained to look outer to find their own satisfaction of who they are within. And this is why going outer will never ever serve you. Do the inner work. Do the inner work, people. Do the inner work. Do the inner work, people. Do the inner work. Do the inner work, people. Do the inner work. Do the inner work, people. Do the inner work. It's never outside of you. Voodoo, black magic, the horrible things that have happened in parts of Africa where they're going into militia style fighting and they're pulling children from the ages of 5 and 6 to go into these militia type of things, and they're all carrying machetes and they're carrying guns. No child on this planet should ever touch a gun. How's that okay? And what adult would ever show their child to touch a gun and show a child how to use a gun? Shame on all adults that have ever done this. There is no value for life. If you choose to teach a child how to use a gun, then you choose to teach a child about their chakra systems and light. Why are not the world leaders showing children how to work with light and their chakra systems and who they are as godliness? Has nothing to do with religion. Do you see the upset here, dear lighted ones? The upset is the imbalances on what we've given power to. And why? So now all of these people are so power hungry, they've created their own monsters. And these monsters will do anything to take you out because they see that you're happy within who you are. It has nothing to do with them. I'm not giving power to any of these people. Everything has been cut off. They can no longer harvest off me. They can no longer take my light. And I'm completely manifesting from me and my light. And now I'm going to start to receive things because now I don't have all these leeches hanging off my energy where they're feeding and they're taking all my things before I even get it. And that's why they do the rooting. Right? They do those rooting things because they want what you're manifesting for yourself, because they know that you've got energy that cycles in 3 times faster than theirs. So you can manifest in ways that are totally different from them because they're sitting in darkness and mud and their chakras are not spinning. When your chakras are spinning and you're harmonized with Mother, Father, God, you're harmonized with the omnipresent, you're harmonized in unity with creation, you're not going against creational laws, then there's no blockages. So all of these people that are living in dark, they're sitting in dark, they think about dark, and all they do is dark. That's where they'll sit because they're chosen not to heal. They're not bringing any light in. They've chosen to be separate from source. That's where they choose to sit. So they're going to sit in their darkness, and that's how their darkness is going to cycle. Very slow, if at all. Very slow, if at all. And they can't manifest off that because they're not using anybody else's energy. They're not harvesting it. They're not sucking the fucking life out of people. The entertainment industry is going to go through a huge change because the entertainment industry is using a lot of people for their benefit. And this is why you're going to see, as we've seen in the news, there's more and more entertainment people that are now coming down with their various types of karma. You know, where they find out that the kids that are not really their kids, they were fathered by somebody else. So all of these are just parts of their karma that has been, taken in lieu of what were your intentions? And why were they so nefarious? How and why did you take from others, and how and why can you give back? And if you choose not to share, then your karma will be, because you're not making it easier and you're not bringing peace to anybody outside of you. So we're going to talk about that again, back to celestials and that the energy. So again, cults and covens that continue to use the negative energy, you're going to get negative response back. And there's no more, again, you're not connected with me or in any way. Everybody in Calgary, I don't have any dealings with anybody in Calgary. I've never met any of these people except for my ex. He's the only one that I know. And it's been estranged for 8 years. I don't talk to these people. I don't know these people. I have nothing to do with these people. They've used me as their scapegoat. They've used me as energy. They've used my name for clout. They've used my name in the underground for bidding and betting, to take my skills and to have spiritual hitmen paid to come and get me. These people have used my name in every way possible: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, using my sexual life force with sexual orgies. I haven't been involved, but because I'm a seer and I'm an empath, I can feel it and I can see things. I'm a seer. I tell my higher self to shut certain things down so I don't have to see what these people are doing, even though you've told them a billion times to stop. They're not going to stop. They don't care about your, you're hurting my feelings. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And so that's why part of their karma will be to have their feelings hurt, and they're going to have to sit in the silence of nobody coming to their rescue. Nobody came to my rescue except for my beautiful people that I talk about. And they're the same two beautiful people that I always talk about. There's nobody outside of these two people that give me things. These two people are the only ones. And they're going to be protected by Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is going to wrap protection around both of these beings. Because they're the only ones throughout this whole entire history, even the ones that had said so blatantly and so disgustingly that they were the ones looking after me. What? I've been on my own since I was 17. As soon as I graduated, I moved out of my parents' home, because I couldn't stand living there. It was so dysfunctional. I left as soon as I could, and I would take as many jobs as I can just to get out of the fuck shit. Which is exactly why I left Calgary. I would do anything that I can to get out of the fuck shit. I don't like drama on any level, and it was nothing but drama and stalking and energy pressing on me and taking from me and pressing on me and taking from me, even though they can run themselves lies and all they want. I know energy and I feel everything. And then spirit confirms it, and spirit says this and spirit says that. Spirit directs me, so I go. Let them sort out their shit. Let them sort out their karma. You're not going to have me to take from. You don't have infinite entitlement to abuse me. Who the fuck are you? Where are these contracts that say you get to abuse me? Where's the contracts? I want to see the contracts. Where's the piece of paper? Where's the piece of paper that I said, you can take this, this, and this. You can do this, this, and this. You can sell my name, this, this, and this in the black underground. You can do this, this, and this. And then you're gonna make me feel bad because now you're going through karma and people in the courts want to talk to you and the police want to talk to you? No, you're a fucking criminal. So sit in your shit. Where's the contract that said I gave you permission to use my name? Where's the contract that said anybody could use my name or the poems or the songs that I write? Nobody has ever been given permission to take any of my things. I haven't signed anything to be with anybody on any level in any partnership of any kind. Nobody has seen my signature except for my divorce that I put on my YouTube just a couple of days ago to prove the only thing that I have signed is my divorce in 8 years. That's it. That's it. I haven't signed anything else. So anybody that has been taking from me in the last 8 years, you better bet I am the Ark of the Covenant. You got karma coming. And it ain't going to stop until you make it right. It ain't going to stop, because now it's time for me to receive. Now I have to receive, because my credit and my finances are all fucked up beyond measure, and I have to fix that. Now I have to go back and I have to fix the mess that I didn't even make. I didn't make that mess. That mess is not mine. Those lies are not mine. The false accusations are not mine. Nobody has been taking care of me. Give me a break. Who's been taking care of me? I've been on my own since I was 17. I'm a genius. I'll wrap circles around everybody, and I keep telling you that. So come and sit down with me, and you can give me whatever test you want. You're not going to take any blood, and you're not going to take any of my DNA. And if you do, I have rights, and my teams, my Arcturian teams, they'll change the constituents. So anytime you go to test it, it'll be skewed. So just know that. All they have to do is just put a click like that, and my blood and whatever is taken from my DNA, anybody that wants to test me, it's just taken just like that, because I commanded. Because it's my DNA, you don't have a fucking right. If you said you're going to test it just for this, that's all you have authority to do. Test it just for that. But because of these shadow governments and because of these mad Epstein, mad scientists, and all these people that have been involved in the attack and the sabotage of elite ones, of ultra-humans, of advanced ones that I was classified in, the Father said in the Father's words, I was an advanced human. That's what the Father said. Those were the Father's words. And the governments knew it. And since the day that I was born, they had stalked me and watched me for my entire life. My life was not my life. It was the Truman Show. And I had had these experiences throughout my whole life. And I've been molested and I've been raped and all of these beautiful things that were just a part of me to learn who I was so I can stand in my power and say, fuck off. You don't have a right to touch me. You don't have a right to touch my body. You don't have a right to touch my work. And you don't have a right to touch my energy. It's mine. But because people are just waking up to energy, the elites and the cults and the covens and the masons and the 33rd degree, whatever they call themselves. Again, who cares about the fucking titles? It doesn't matter. They found it very, very easy to use energy. And then it went into one thing, into another, because none of these people were focusing on healing and going within and reconnecting with source. I teach you, and the light workers on this planet teach you, and the channelers teach you, reconnect with spirit. Reconnecting with spirit is the only way through the gates. Reconnect with spirit is the only way through the gates. Going within is the only way through the gates. Healing is the only way through the gates. That's it. You will not get through in any other way. You will not get through by trafficking and cloaking yourself with innocent children's energy. You will not do it by destiny swapping. You will get nothing if you think you're going to destiny swap. Are you kidding me? You will get nothing if you're creating fake AI pages and using other people's tarot channels or prediction channels or higher vibrational channels. You will never get anything by copying and cloning and being the little dark minions for the little dark Epstein earth. You will never gain anything. You will have it ripped out from underneath you a day later. That's karma. Practitioners that are not following universal laws, that's karma, and your gifts and skills will be stripped. We've told you. You don't have a right to touch somebody else so that their destiny is forever changed because you have chosen to take money because somebody doesn't have any clue who they are and they want to have some revenge plotted on somebody else rather than going within and healing and letting go. Let God take care of the karma, people. There should never be any action as far as revenge is concerned. Revenge should be taken off this planet. It's not needed, it's not necessary, grow up. It's immature and it's petty. There should be no revenge, ever. It's not up to you to do an eye for an eye. If you are guided by source, your life will be seamless and fluid and honoring and abundant, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and in your health. And if you're not in the right flow of source, and if you're not in the right flow of the universal laws of one, right use of free will and non-interference on the law of balance, then you will heed your own karma. And it is time. Sit down. Because your cult and coven doesn't have the right answers. Your cult and coven has been doing very harmful things and criminal acts. Absolutely criminal acts. How is that okay? If you have access to somebody's finances, if you have access to somebody's bank accounts, if you have access to somebody's email, these are illegal acts. People that go in and hack your email, they're illegal acts. It's abuse of the information and technology laws. It's the abuse of privacy laws. It's the abuse of medical laws. It's the abuse of everything that is a law. It's abuse of your human rights. Anybody that's trying to get to your money before you get to it, it's illegal as fuck. Go earn your own money, get your own sandwich. So every night, begin to reclaim who you are and say, this is my work. I've earned this work. This is my work. I've been a genius and I've been an inspirator and I've been an idea person since the day I was born. And these people that watch, stalk, and hack you and they spy on you, they've taken all of your ideas. They've taken all of your energy. They've taken all of the things that are yours. They're your things. And you can see it spread out there in the communities, and you can see it spread if you're given a team and your guides will show you a link that will take you somewhere, and those are your very words that people are using, but you haven't been paid a penny. You've actually been suppressed. Your channel has been at zero growth for 8 years. So you tell me in everything that I've said from day one that's been happening on my life, my channel on YouTube has been shut down and it's been no growth for 8 years. And there are people that come to my channel that are very VIPs and are very elite and are very high up there, and they watch and they get my predictions and they get my energy and they understand Christ consciousness, and now they're understanding ascension. They're learning how to heal themselves. They're learning how to reclaim themselves, and everybody is benefiting from what I give and what I offer unconditionally. And once in a while I'll say, please provide donations. I have to go through my things too, and I'm asking for equal fair exchange. I give information that nobody else gives. I'm a divine feminine at the highest integration on this planet. I know who I am. I'm a great leader. I'm a great healer. When do I get to receive? With exception of the two that always bless me. Because they also are angels. And nobody's going to touch them. They will be blanketed and they will be veiled. Nobody will touch them. But you can see the vampires and the seething ones that just want to get their hooks and their teeth into people. Who's got money coming next? Who's got this big idea? Who's going to make the biggest idea next? If you're going into anything because it's all about your intention and the infinity, if you're going into anything because you want to make sure that you're going to be a part of that big money-making idea, you want to get on the bandwagon, but you've absolutely done nothing to go and meet that person at an equal heart measure and say, is there anything that I can do for you? And maybe at some point down the road, maybe we can collaborate, but I just want to be here for you. What can I do for you? How may I lift you up? But it's always about the opposite. It's always about how can we work together so that I can be a part of whatever's going to come in for you? How can I be a part of whatever you're going to make? How can I come in now after I've done how many sacrifices? 2,000 rituals have been done on my life. Over 50 sacrifices. I've been sold in the black web and the underground, and people bidding me and betting me back and forth in the black web and these various cults and covens and selling me to false marriages, and people think they fucking own me. Nobody fucking owns me, people on this planet. Nobody owns me. Nobody has a piece of paper with my name on it that says you own me. You don't. You never will. There's no company that owns any word that I produce. No company owns any words that I produce. I haven't signed anything. I've signed absolutely nothing for anybody. Nobody has approached me with a contract. I've not reviewed anything and I've not signed anything. And nobody has the right to speak on my behalf. And let me tell you this to be very sure. There hasn't been one person on this planet that has looked after me. I haven't received any money that these people that fill out paperwork to say that they've looked after me and they're taking money monthly to look after me. There's been nobody look after me, and I'm over 50. So the Interpol and all the people that are doing investigations, I speak truth, and right from the very beginning, my videos are 100% truth, and I've been predicting all of it. And it would have been nice if all of these investigators and the police would have acted 6 years ago, because then a whole lot of people wouldn't have been sacrificed. A whole lot of people would have been absolutely cared for and looked at. We would have been onto systems right now that are creating laws and creating support and aid for those that are being attacked just like me. Because these are little cults and covens and little minions that do on sometimes work on behalf of shadow governments so that they will keep people like me suppressed, because people like me suppressed have answers for the people. And they know that we have grand destinies that only the Father and I write. Nobody writes my destiny, me and the Father write it. That's why you're never going to sacrifice me. That's why you're never going to swap my destiny. You ain't going to swap it. You can't handle it. You couldn't handle a minute of my destiny. You couldn't handle one download. But Spirit's been trying to tell you, wake up and have your own destiny. Wake up and look into your own soul's blueprint. And we've been taught all of our shows are about soul's blueprint. So why aren't you investigating your own blueprint? Investigate your own blueprint. Get busy with you. Go heal you. Put the stuff on the table and sort it out and heal it. I've never signed anything for anybody to have any access to my life on any level. There have been medical records. There have been personal records. There have been birth records. There have been records that I didn't even know that there were records. Up to 187 pieces of paper with my name on it that have been illegally passed back and forth, that have no jurisdiction to have done so. And these are illegal human rights offenses. These are very, very serious criminal charges. And people are not just going to walk away. And how dare anybody think that they can come back and have a little tet-for-tet session with me and say, can we wipe this under the rug and how about we join forces now? No. Because again, why you're approaching me is absolutely 100% because of you. It's your benefit. You're not going to come back into my energy. You're not going to come back into my wing of protection. You're not going to come back into my sphere, because then all the things start turning around and really good for you, because my energy is that grand. Because I do alchemize that way. God has said, you all must stand and you must be separate from me, because you will sit in what you have created, and you will face your karma when you have created it and how you've created it. Those that will be the only ones that will be allowed to get through to me, and it's only by God, if you pay for a session and you absolutely speak with me on one of those sessions. You will not just pop up. We're not just going to hang out. You're not just going to say, hey, how's it going? We're the cult that tried to destroy you for 10 years in a row. We're the cult that made sure that your platforms weren't seen by anybody. We're the cult that made sure that we threw hate out to you every day for the past 8 years, 10 years, and we've been living off your money and we've got a few houses. Meanwhile, you're sitting homeless. Not one of these people have asked me what it's like to sleep on the street at night. I want any one of these people that think that they have had looking after me, money's going to them looking after me. Any of these companies that have taken any words of mine, any poetry of mine, any songs of mine, any writing of mine, any content of mine, any images of mine, speaking on my name in any way, but to absolutely recommend a class. You are not allowed to speak on my name in any way. In any way in the black web, you will be given karma times 10 immediately. My ancestors are so ready and 10 toes down. Anybody that treats me in a negative way or touches me through the Ark of the Covenant for greedy, selfish, greedy purposes, you will be dealt with immediately. You are only allowed to speak of me in recommendation of classes and recommendation of how I may assist the planet, which is why I'm here. We're going to refine why I'm here so that my time is no longer wasted. My energy is no longer wasted. Because it's been 50 years of wasting my time and energy to the point where the only reason why I'm here is because of Father God. Father God and my teams and my celestials that rebuild my body every night, they're the only reasons why I'm here. And because of the two that have given to me. I have only eaten because of these two that have donated to me. I have only paid a bill because these two that have given to me. I have only known what it's felt like to feel as if somebody else on this planet is thinking about me that's not disgustingly trying to think that they're gonna screw me and they're gonna have sex with me, because I can sense those energies. And that's fine if it's the soulmate I want to be with and it's from Calgary and anybody from the past. I would never let anybody from the past ever come near me or touch me in any way. I've learned my lesson. The energies, there's never going to be a vibrational alignment. There's never going to be a vibrational alignment. There will never be a vibrational alignment in anything called a situationship. There's never going to be a vibrational relationship as far as third parties, fourth parties, sixth parties. I will never be a part of a polyamorous situation. I just won't. I won't. I absolutely won't. I refuse to be a part of those situations. If that's what other people like and if that's what other people want, fine. Go be it and go do it. Have your fun. It's messy energetically. I have been through enough. I have been through far too much with people raping and taking and sabotaging and sucking the life out of me in groups up to 50 and 35 and 45 and 150 people trying to get their teeth and their vampire claws in me. This is on a daily basis. I'm touched financially. I'm touched mentally. I'm touched intellectually. I'm touched on every level. And not one person besides the two that have given to me have ever approached me in any way. A kind email, a card in the mail, and I've given the energy, I've given the address of my bank online. Anything, nobody has ever reached out to say, I'm so sorry you had to sleep on the street at night. How can I help you? Not one person, not one. So don't let anybody go coercing you. And I'm speaking up on my rights. I'm speaking up on my rights as if I'm in the courtroom. This is my rebuttal, and this is my summation. Don't let anybody out there. I am the voice for the children. I'm the voice for divine feminine. I'm the voice for everybody that's been abused and harassed and stalked and intimidated and bullied. Go to my live stream. It's on there every time I go live, and their IP addresses are there. Go find them. This has been happening for 8 years, and then another 42 before that. There is no way anyone on this planet has been looking after me. No way. I have unfortunately chosen those people that have been emotionally disengaged, that have been mentally not all there, that have been highly narcissistic, dysfunctional people, where it's been always about them. Because that's what I was brought up into. Triangulation. And then it came to Calgary, and when we hit Calgary, it got worse. Because there are so many cults in Calgary, and when I sought my divorce, it got worse. I felt like I was covertly punished every day. I slowly became isolated. I got pushed out. The covert manipulations, the covert comments, the covert money missing, the covert having all of my energies going 100 times into my business, 100 times into doing everything that I'm doing while raising children, while running them here and there, while doing everything that a mother does full time, while running a business from home, while writing books. And I'm pouring all of my energy into my business. I'm not receiving anything. Somebody's got to be receiving it. Who's receiving the money? I haven't received any amount of money for any inheritance. I've received no inheritance in my life. Nobody's sent me any inheritance. I have never received any inheritance. Go look at my bank records. I've had the same account with Royal Bank since I was 17, and I closed it out a couple years ago. I now have no longer dealings with the Royal Bank. Go look at my bank records. My bank records show nothing going in and out. Nothing. Except for the monies of those few people. And these people will not be touched, and the donations will not be touched from here on out, because God says it's time that I get to receive. There is nobody on this planet that dictates when and how I receive and when I don't receive. I deserve to be loved. I'm claiming my power on all of my work. It is my intellectual property, and not one person on this planet will take and use any of my words that have not been paying me for it. Because I haven't sat down with anybody. Ain't nobody been paying me a dime or a penny on anything. So for anybody to use my content in any way, my intellectual properties or my teachings, and to pretend you sound like me and pretend that you're a conduit, while you're giving no credit to me on anything in any way. You're not even giving me a recommendation. You don't have a right, you will get karma. This is how bad it's been. And I've had to call judgment, and I've had to call uncle on the multiverse several times, because I told Spirit, I'm not going to go through with this for any much longer. I'm tired of being patient. I'm tired of sitting on the wayside. I'm tired of sleeping outside. This is ending yesterday. And so the multiverse will be shaken up. Everybody from the government and the shadow government will be plucked, pluck, pluck, pluck. Because I'm tired of being patient and waiting for people that have been in official positions, that have had the rights and the resources to do right, and they could have done right, and they should have done right because they're paid to do right. And they're the ones that are supposed to be the role models to all others. They're in elite positions, they're getting paid elite roles, they're getting paid elite monies, and they're still taking monies on my end and taking my ideas and luring into my energy that they have no right doing. Nobody from the past will come back to me. You just won't. You will be stopped at every level. Why? Because I've told you 18 billion times. There is nothing ever that's going to come back and cycle around again. You're not healed. You will not touch my life because you're not healed. You're not coming back into my circle or my sphere of awesomeness. You're not. I ain't going to give to you. And the reason why you're coming back has everything to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. And that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, and you're going to keep sitting where you're going to keep sitting because you don't give a fuck about me. You never have. This is about you getting out of your karma, and you're going to sit where you're going to sit until you get it. The only people that will be allowed forward, and if you're not hearing Spirit, and if you're not heeding Spirit, I'm going to tell you point blank. And the aligned readers will tell you point blank. Until you heal and make right with you on why you chose what you chose. Why did you choose to give your power away? Why did you choose to think that satanic rituals and bringing somebody death on every day of their life? Why did you think that suffocating their finances? Why did you think that withholding of their finances? Why did you think that lying to the false courts? Why did you think about giving false witness? Why did you think that telling utter lies on one innocent person that doesn't have diseases, that doesn't sleep around, that doesn't do drugs or doesn't drink, all of these things that has been said that I've been done, everything that has been said to get money out of me, to make me look really bad so that people can keep living and sucking the fucking life out of me. And they don't have any right. I haven't been given any credit or any monies for all of my work, then I've been here 50 years, while other people have been living large. That is not fucking fair. It is enslavement on every level. It is criminal abuse. It is against all human rights. I have been used like a fucking slave. And I'm pissed. I've been patient. I've been kind, and I've been honoring, and I do my light work, and I do my shadow work, and I transmute. This is enslavement. And it's been human hunger. It's been the human hunting games. And when they can, they'll use children to veil their energies, and they'll veil whatever they can, and they'll do energy work, and they'll do magic work on the courts, and they'll do magic work on the papers, they'll do magic work on the judges, and they'll do magic work, and they'll do magic work, and they'll do magic work. As I said before, everybody in the cult from Calgary, all 45 of them, and however many is involved, because it's a global network. It's an organized global network. These are organized global networks. Pluck them out. Pluck every one of them. I want the top dogs. I want the top dogs. I want the top dogs in the shadow governments. I want the top dogs. I want the top dogs that ever incited and directed cults and covens to come and attack me and press on me and handle me. And to sell my name back and forth however many times and make my life as difficult as fucking possible while you all went on vacations. I sat freezing my ass off, sleeping on the street at night, hoping somebody on this planet would care for me. Nobody has looked after me, period, except for Spirit and my celestials. And the two people that brought me to tears, because when I asked Spirit to show me somebody that cares on this planet for me, even though they've been making money and claiming false claims on court, to say all these good things that people have done for me, nobody has done anything for me. So anything that is said on a piece of paper about what they've done for me is bullshit. It's a lie. It's all lies. Why would somebody that is homeless give a house away? Why, if somebody is homeless, why would I be on vacation traveling around the world? But these people that are saying all these false things about me, they've got money coming in and out until recently, because God has stopped all of their abundance flowing in and out of them. Health, money, opportunities, everybody is being blocked, and they're going to keep being blocked until they get the lesson. And what is the lesson? It's not about you coming back to me so that you can make your life easy again and try and pull me back into your little sucking karmic cycle again so that you can start harvesting off me again and I can start protecting all your bad deeds. You've taken my energy and you've done a lot of bad deeds, and all of you have to look at every bad deed you've done, because my energy was never meant to be used for bad deeds. It was meant to show you, this is how you use light, this is how you alchemize. I was your teacher and your guide, and you abused me and you misused me. You didn't get the lessons of the universe and why I was sent to you and why I was allowed in your energy for so long. I was there to show you. This is how you work with light. This is how you alchemize. This is how you come out of your karma. But you didn't. You all ganged me, you bullied me, you suppressed me, you isolated me, and you stalked me, and you took everything from me. And you all laughed. And then you teased me, and then you did your snuff videos and your videos and your exploitation videos, and you put up your little mean girl chat room group, and this is what you do, because that's all you do. You focus on how much you can hate somebody. And the only reason why any of you want to come back is for you. It's for your greedy reasons. And that's going to be a no. My ancestors will not let you buy. My muscle will not let you buy. Mother, Father, God will not let you buy. You've taken enough. You've damaged enough. You have done so much harm to my soul. You have hurt me so, so badly. I cried every day for 8 years because of the damages done to my heart and soul that nobody had a right to do. The shadow government and everybody involved. I was a blessed gift and a blessed being on this planet, and I can activate so much healing, and I can bring so much good based on my alignment with the stars and based on my alignment with Mother, Father, God, and my soul's blueprint. I'm a master, and I'm here. And I'm not going to give up on those that want to be healed. I'm not going to give up on those that choose to be aligned with their heart. I'm not going to give up on the children. I will not give up on Gaia. But I absolutely will tell you this. It will be the most eternal cutoff and the most coldest cutoff that anybody will ever feel or experience, because that's my authority, that's my rank. You come and even try to muse or even try to have a spell done where you think you can come and stand before me when you've done such egregious acts and you have done nothing to make it right. You've done nothing to care about me. You've done nothing to reach out and say, how can I help you? Because you didn't care about what harm you did to me. You didn't care about what you took from me. You didn't care about the words and the songs that you raped from me. You didn't care. And the only reason why you want to approach me now is because it's for your benefit. It has nothing to do with making me feel peaceful. Because I've been asking for peace for how long now? I want my birth records. It will bring me peace. I want to know what happened. It would bring me peace. I want to know why and how. All of these people know, and I'm like a Truman Show, and I'm the only one out of the picture. I'm the only one without a remote control, and yet it's my life. So God's bringing me the information every day. There is rock hard evidence on everything that has happened, and everybody will be prosecuted. Everybody in the cult is guilty as far as I'm concerned. Whether you were the one doing the Photoshop energies, whether you were the one doing the lies, whether you were the one moving the paperwork, whether you were the one being paid at the bank to look the other way, whether you were the one in the police station, it doesn't matter who you were or what you were. Everybody knew when they were speaking to my ex, and everybody involved in the cult and the shadow government, everybody knew what was going on. It was either benevolent or it was not. You all knew. Therefore, thus then, you're guilty for the accomplice of premeditated murder, or intention to infect, or intention to get them back sabotaged, intention to derail, intention to delay, intention to mess up their life, intention to make them sick, intention to drive them crazy, intention to make them insane, intention to make their car go off the cliffs. And again, If you call yourself anything like an official, how would any of this be okay? And if you're thinking these things, you absolutely need to go get assessed by your community psychiatric doctors, and you need to have early Alzheimer's or early onset dementia. You need to absolutely get to a vibrational healer or look online to see how you can release and heal attachments and cut cords, and you need to get healed. Because inciting such things and being obsessed about such things means that you are being taken over by very dark energies that you've allowed and you've given energy and power to. Then you've absolutely asked them into your aura. You've absolutely asked them into your chakras. And now it's up to you to battle these demons because they're yours. They're nobody else's. Nobody's done this to you. Except, I will make a caveat, and I will be in court to argue this. Once I'm given the information, and if I'm taken online for the research with Interpol and these higher global networks of investigation, because it has to be investigated, we have to do research and study. Of the global networks of shadow governments that have been involved in hiring minions in certain communities to stop, stalk, hire, and spy on and hack into innocent people that are here to make a difference upon earth for the Father's divine plan. Those that are affiliated to government beings, and I've suggested a million times before, the only way out for each of these minions and each of these lower vibrational dark entities, because the governments will not have your back. The only way for you to make right is to bring your truth to your story, to your soul, and go to the authorities. Because anybody above you that said you're safe and said this and said that, there's nobody that will take care of you and nobody will have your back. They'll scapegoat you just like that, just like you scapegoated me. This is why I've been talking about my story for so very long. I don't know any of these people. I have nothing to do with them. I've never belonged to a cult. I would never want to belong to a cult. I would never agree to belong to a cult. I would never sign anything over to anybody. I would never give my power away. I'm a humanitarian. I'm a human rights advocate. I would never do such things. So those people that are sitting in insurance offices and wills offices and all of those other things that they sit on, and anybody in court that says, just common sense, we're asking for common sense here, people. If there is a healer that focuses on human rights, that focuses on advocacy of the rights of the humans and talks about trafficking and the dangers and all that is wrong and all that will go wrong and all that is happening and all that's going to come up and happen, and if the leaders aren't paying attention and if the leaders aren't going to put light wisdoms out here, here's what's going to happen, boom, 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 boom. And if I'm this type of a magnetic person that I can look at a collective level and I can say I got answers for stuff, I got this, I got this, I got this going on, and then anybody to see a piece of paper that crosses their judicial desk or crosses their policing desk or crosses the investigator's desk or crosses a bank's desk to say this is a healer for humanitarian advocacy. Why would anybody be in an insurance claim of somebody that is her estranged ex or is a part of a community she never ever belongs to, doesn't even live there? Are these not questions that you would think about? I mean, I'm not an investigator. I used to be at the bank. I used to investigate mortgages and I used to investigate, interest rate changes and things that went wrong with mortgages. I was a head team leader of that. And I trained and I helped a team move about mortgage investigations. And we had to recalculate mortgages. We had to find out what went wrong, where we had to go back on the history of that mortgage and find out where that mortgage went wrong. So anybody coming to me to say that I'm insane and people have been looking after me, I can't wipe my ass, I'm on drugs, I'm all hopped up, I don't take aspirin. I wouldn't take synthetic drugs. I've been off synthetic drugs for about 8 years. I don't even take inhalers anymore because I'm fully in light and I'm healed. I healed myself. Nobody does healing on me. I heal me and my teams heal me. I don't go to doctors. I am my doctor. I get my advice right from the 7th dimensional healing teams that I deal with and Mother, Father, God. That's my doctor. That's my jurisdiction. That's what I'm teaching all of humanity that so desire. And then you can take it upon yourself with your teams and your guides. Then you go within and you say, what should I be looking into for this, for that malady, for this malady? And then take it upon yourself. Be sovereign. Do your own homework. Do your own research. Be your best advocate. Never give your power away. This is what I teach and offer. So does it sound in any way that it would be even possible for anybody to take care of me? To say that they're having money that takes care of me anywhere here and there? Nobody's taking care of me. Nobody's given me a penny. Besides the ones that I've said that are Archangel Michael protected. These people will not be touched and they will live the rest of their lives and they will be lifted. When I cry out to Mother, Father, God, and this doesn't happen very often, maybe 3 times in my life, when I wanted to run away from my home when I was younger, because of such dysfunction and being touched on, And one time when I was a teenager, and one time, which was this week, and I said, there has to be change by this day and this hour. And if there is not change by this day and this hour, I cannot stay here. There has to be change. I will no longer be patient. I'm a being sent from the heavens. I am of royal lineage. I am the twin ray of Jesus. I am taught by the masters in the heavens. I have connection to all realms. I have connection to all dimensions. And I speak with Mother, Father, God, moment for moment. And they live in breath through me. I activate change. I activate healing and love and compassion. And I am one of the planet's best alchemists. I will not, however, alchemize any people's energies or any people's mistakes and choices of those that have daily, for years and years and years, when I have given hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of warnings and predictions and videos that have said, if you do not alter course, these are your circumstances. These are the consequences of dealing in black magic and voodoo and warped ass masonry. If you continue to do these things, this is what will happen. And I've given warnings and warnings and warnings and warnings and warnings till you're blue in the face. This is how you know there is entity attachment. They're not in their right sound of mind. Their bodies are being taken over by the attachments, but they still have their choice to say, I want to be healed, and go get assessed. Take yourself in. Take yourself in and don't harm anybody, because there will just be more karma. You're cycling on a negative karma. Negative karma is going to be more karma. Don't do that. Break the cycle and go get healed. Go get healed, people. Go get healed, people. The only way through the 5D gates is to get healed. Be accountable. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your light. Don't let anybody touch your chakras. They're your chakras. They're filled with wisdoms and beautiful benevolence on your lives, on your celestial energies, on your alien timelines, on your celestial timelines with Mother, Father, God. Your chakras are uniquely for you. Don't let anybody mess with your chakras unless they're an approved healer like myself and like Daniel and other healers that are on the earth that you've asked your guides about. Is this person a Christed healer? And ask your guides and wait for the downloads, and you'll be guided to where you need to go for your healing. Just somebody coming off the thing and saying, oh, I'm a conduit, and they've ripped off 5 or 6 pages of my content, and it's taken me 3 or 4 days to download and 3 or 4 days to write out and 3 or 4 days to do additional drawings for. Like, this is the stuff I do every day. I do this every day. I do this stuff every day. Every day, this is what I do. This is what I do every day. This is my everyday stuff. I do this every day. This is my everyday stuff. And for somebody to rip off my stuff and take credit for it while they're pilfering views from my channel to their channel, and I get paid nothing. My channel has never reached anything where I can monetize. When I say I haven't received a penny, I haven't received a penny. In 50 years of being here. No inheritance, no money has made it its way to me, and nobody has looked after me. My God. That's a laugh, that's a joke. The beings that look after me are my celestials. And I've been on my videos, go back to my videos for the last 3 years, through which Mother, Father said and brought to me the download of mind scraping. I was the first one to be downloaded that word, mind scraping, of what the cults and covens and the minions of the shadow government have been doing. It's a technique called mind scraping, and it is similar to the slow dagger that the Masons have done for years and years, the corrupt Masons. Not all Masons are corrupt. The ones working on my life are corrupt. The ones that have been in my family history and lineage have been corrupt because they do and they abuse their gifts and skills for their selfish benefit and their selfish gain. And they don't care about the soul's blueprint because they don't care to know about it. They don't do any research about the soul's blueprint because they don't care to know about it. All they want is their stuff because they're so wounded. And again, that's why we've said, how come the underground and how come divine masculines have chosen to go into the underground and deal with their sexual debauchery as opposed to getting it healed? And why the majority of numbers on the planet that are in sexual debauchery are the divine masculine collective. Because they've not been taught or told how to deal with their sexual explorations and have it be a normal thing and have it to be done in a responsible communicatory way so that everybody is safe and everybody's on the up and up and everybody has a chance to say, well, this is my free will, but no thank you, but thanks for telling me. I'm so appreciative that you told me about how your body's operating right now before I engage with you sexually. Because these are responsible things that mature people do. This is what we do with each other. You're going to share my body, I'll be forthright with you. I don't fool around with my body and my life force. Nobody touches my life force. And when they do touch my life force, I can feel it. Because these are very profound rules that I've set with myself. This is how I teach people to reclaim their power and care for your life force and have higher standards. Set your standards higher, people. If polyamorous is good for you, that's fine. But don't ever consider, if you're already with somebody, if you're married with somebody, if you're in a polyamorous situation, or if you're in a situation, a ship, or anything to do with anything like that, don't ever think about approaching somebody that has already been through the war, that has already been through the ditches, that has already cleared her karma, that is already standing in her power, that is already at a world leader status. Don't ever think about coming to her and thinking you're going to propose such a thing to her. Don't ever think that. Because again, this shows you just how much we are not aligned. We will never be aligned. I will never, ever share who I am or share my life force. It will not be that way. I have one sacred soulmate, and that's what I'm asking for. One sacred soulmate. Because I am loyal, to a fault at times, but I'm learning my lessons. I will only be loyal to my soulmate and to those that I serve, and to Gaia and the heavens. That's my loyalty. Everybody else has to earn it from now on. It didn't have to be this way, but it is now. Nobody will earn my loyalty. And that sacred soulmate has to come forward, and they have to earn parts of that too. Because there will never be situationships I'm going to find out down the road, or 2 years down the road find out that they really want to explore being gay, or whatever it is. Okay, well, go explore your way of being gay. Go do it. Like, I don't care if people want to be gay. I don't care if people want to be poly. I don't care. I don't give a crap. Go do what you got to do. But don't come in and blindly involve other people and don't tell them, and then live a secret life underground while your life is being ripped apart vibrationally and energetically and financially and spiritually. Because everybody's doing the little voodoo and their hoodoo because they all want a part of your energy. They all think it's really great to have starseed energy. Okay, well, how about you go earn your own? How about you go get your own sandwich? Go activate your own DNA, because it's DNA is of celestials too. How about you do that? So I'm speaking as if I was on the stand, and I'm telling everybody before I get up and have something that's a bit more professional, because I will. When I'm on the stand and I'm doing my own summation, it will be very professional. I'm going to practice it for days and days and days. And I'm going to recite it for days and days and days. I'll be very well practiced. I'm going to read up on the most current laws. I'm going to read up on the most current, anything that's going on, because that's what I do. I prepare myself. And I'm going to ask for time with my celestials and time with my guides, and we're going to make sure that everything is all on the up and up, and I'm going to state exactly how much I've been hurt and how much I've been taken from, and enough is enough. You're not going to touch me. You're not going to come back. I would never want to be a part of a situationship, so don't ask me. Don't ever ask me to be a part of a situationship. Have I made it clear? I've said this about 100 times before, but people are still thinking about it. Don't come towards me. Please don't. If you want to make it right, and if there is something in your heart where you want to give back to me because you have been a part of hurting me, then you have two options, and we've already talked about this, and you go through God. And if your heart is pure, you can send whatever you can send that is benevolent, and is it of the service to me. I will not keep tokens that anybody gives me. I won't keep tokens. Just because people have put spell work and voodooism in whatever tokens they give me, I'm not going to keep tokens anybody gives me. I won't keep it. I'll give it to the Goodwill store. I won't even touch it. I'll just drop it off in a bag to the Goodwill store. So don't send me tokens. I wouldn't keep them. Just because this is how horrible people have been to me. I won't take any crystals from anybody that I don't know. I won't take tokens from anything that everybody I don't know. This is how people have demonized and put voodoo in objects. And this is where I've said, I've given the bank address. And my spirit guides will make sure that if there's anything nefarious in those envelopes, they will make sure that it never reaches me or anybody that will touch that envelope, because Spirit cares that much about people. Spirit cares about those people that are actually doing good things. And you're just going to earn more negative karma. So again, and then what? You'd think it would get through people's heads, but there's still some people that are just relentlessly going to keep doing what they're going to keep doing to think that they can still somehow get to me, somehow, some way. I'm not sure why they're so insistent on taking me out. There's 2 ways to get in touch with me. You make a PayPal payment and you put in the comment section what session you would like, a 5D vocational alignment session. If there's a healing session that you would like to connect with, and in that healing session, you can have a discussion with me about where you're at and what your purity of heart intention is. And then I will determine at that point if the conversation will go any further. Again, I don't care about your confessions. And if you want to have an apology, that's fine. I don't need it. What I want is I want my money returned. Because there's been 8 years, 10 years, 50 years where people have played with me and they haven't given a fuck about where I am. I should have already been completed my 5th book by now. I should already be out in the collective leading the people. But I'm not. I'm homeless. What I need now, I need absolute donations so that I can turn around everything that has been done to me financially. And it has been done with malice. It has been done with malice. And it's been done with malice. And the intention was to take me out. Therefore, thus then, there's not too many apologies that can be said for this. Oh, I'm sorry I tried to take you out. I'm sorry I tried to kill you. I'm sorry I thought that my life was more important than yours. I'm sorry that it doesn't matter about your life, but my life is okay. I'm sorry that I tried to ruin your life and take you away from your children, the only light that your children knew. I'm sorry I tried to make your life not mean anything because you have a soul's blueprint that goes across the multiverse. I'm sorry that your children will never ever get your star wisdoms. I'm sorry that there'll be people down the road and generations down the road that will never get your star wisdoms or know that what it's like to survive trafficking in the way that you survived it. So sorry to take your life out when you're the most integrated divine feminine on the planet that's gone through as much karma and can alchemize as much darkness and density that you have. Has anybody come forward and said, how may I help you? Nobody, because most light workers are okay. You know, we get that. We get that we're meant to be here for others. But this has been 50 years. And so now the Father is moving things very quickly. So this is why people are going to go through a lot of quick karma. There's only 2 ways to get in touch with me. There's going to be no pop-ups just because there's been so much abuse. There doesn't need to be. If you want to make it right, there's 2 ways to get in touch with me and you know it. Make the donation or send something kind to the bank. And again, I won't keep anything that is a token or an object. I won't keep it. It will go to the dollar store, or it will go to the ocean and it will be cleansed. I'm not going to keep those things. There is a couple of soulmates that are meant to approach me that they'll be guided only by God. Of anybody of the past, there's no redo, there's no recycle. We're not getting back together. There is no ever back together. I'm still paying debts on what was done, and there's nothing that's going to make right 50 or more sacrifices on my life. There's nothing that can make that right. It's irreparable. You're forgiven, you're forgiven, you're forgiven, you're forgiven. You are very blessed in being you. Thank you for teaching me all that you taught me. Everybody is forgiven. Nobody has any weight with me. I'm speaking of the frustration of things still not being returned to me. That's my frustration. Because now I have to fix what's been done. Because I do want to get on with my life. I do want to have a loving partner that's one sacred partner that doesn't have a situationship, that doesn't have a marriage, that doesn't have all these things. I'm not into mess and I'm not into drama. Clearing up and fix your stuff. Don't ever approach me in a situationship. I will say no immediately. I will not even consider it. I will have my teams block it. I'm not interested. Okay, so anybody that's wanting to approach me that way, don't waste my time. My time is very precious, and I'm tired of having it wasted. And so, dear lighted ones, we love you very much. We love you, we love you, we love you. I'm going to say goodbye because I have to go. Thank you so much for the beautiful beings. Our next session on Monday, we're going to do, yes, we're going to get to it. We're going to do total clairs. We're going to do open channels. Thank you for allowing me to express myself vibrationally. I'm very, very excited. It's a full moon, so please rest. Thank you to the beautiful beings that have donated to me. I love you and I appreciate you so much. My job here is to inspire those so that we all change what has been happening on our planet when people are being taken advantage of left, right, and center and the laws aren't working and the people in the systems are corrupt. So it's up to each and every person. Please speak about what's going on in your community. It's the only way to change it. And if you don't speak, it can't get changed. We have to keep going. We have to keep going, and we're going to create new systems and new laws and new support and new healing centers so that these people can be healed and we can learn and we can do research on why these people have done and chosen what they have and why the governments have kept what they have, and we need to do healing on the dark government doing what they have done to people because they're very damaged. These people are very damaged and the government has to be liable. So there's going to be many things that all the people in humanity will be needed for. We're going to need lawyers. We're going to need those that will help present new papers. They're going to need people that will help in the healing. We're going to need people that will help with the healing part of things, setting up little healing pods. And we've been talking about this in our groups. For the longest time since I've had clients, we've been talking about, little healing pods that when we're getting close to 5D, those that are going through psychosis, how to how to recognize psychosis, how to recognize how to heal psychosis, and what do we do? But we didn't even consider way back then about shadow governments and the work and the cults and the covens of the technological warfares, the biological warfares, and groups and covens that are doing so much suppression on one or two lives that it's ridiculous. Like, again, Spirit said, which will be in my 5th book, I should not have survived. There's very few people who would survive what I went through. There's no way people would survive that type of suffocation, of sabotage on every level. It was an obsessive mess, and it still is now. There's still people that are looking to do what they can to take me out and have me not get what I'm supposed to get, which I should have received a long time ago. And any time that I do receive, I give it back. So I've always been that way. I've always been tithing. I've always been a part of tithing. Whatever I receive, I have because I'm a banker, how much I have for my investments and how much I have for me, how much I have for bills, and then I put the rest into tithing. So, and that's why Spirit says is really important for me. Whatever is meant for me in my lineage abundance, it's meant to go back to the people because I know how to create systems. That's why I'm here. That's what I create, right? I have my ideas. It's all very safely kept for me. And it's meant to go back to the people. And individuals like me, we can make a difference. So if you're going through anything that is subjugatory, if you're finding out that you're being suffocated and somebody's withholding finances from you, or somebody's trying to undermine you, somebody's trying to make you feel as if you don't matter, or all of these things that are really important for you as a spiritual soul, look up your human rights and start speaking on it. Speak on behalf of your spirit and claim your space and claim your right. Right? Because these bullies are only bullies because nobody's standing up to them. If you walk with the presence and the knowing as my name is, I walk on behalf of the heavens. You will not subjugate me. You will not take from me. Stand and speak on behalf of the heavens. The heavens are guiding you. The heavens will help you. The heavens will assist you in manifesting a good outcome if you're in a court case and you've been taken advantage of and you've been abused. If you know walking with the heavens and that's all you need, as Jesus said, walk with it as a knowing. The heavens are assisting me. It doesn't matter how bad or how big something might be. I will absolutely walk with the heavens. And it will be cleared. The way will be cleared. So don't let bullies and people intimidate you. No matter how many times they show up on your live stream and want to bully you and tell you how ugly you are, that you look like a leather bag, or all the horrible things that have been said. Send them light and wish them well. And just know, let God work on the karma and you get working on loving yourself. And again, keep loving yourself, because there will be one of those very special, beautiful, precious people, like the beautiful, precious little crystals. There will be those beautiful crystals that will surprise you one day. And when you're sitting there outside in the cold and you're wondering if anybody cares about you or loves you, you have something that comes through that says, thank you for being you. And it gives you hope. So I love you, dear lighted ones. I love you so much. I love you. Welcome to our Ascension class. Please share our videos. Like and share and speak up for yourself. Please speak up for yourself, okay? God loves you. God loves you. God loves you. I love you.